Alright, I've been playing devil's advocate with myself about learning this fire roll method, where you trap a piece of high tensioned up bits of stuff and then roll them like this. I said to myself, why should I learn it? And I mean, if you don't play devil's advocate with yourself at times, you don't work out why you want to learn these sort of things, or what practical use they are. Right, piece of jute twine, could be bark or whatever, but we'll just say this amount, because I don't really waste my stuff. Okay, we fluff that up, and we've got a few tiny fibres. Yeah? Okay. But we tightly wind it up like we would to make this. And it becomes a lot smaller. Still the same amount of material, but it's a lot smaller. Now, to make a piece what's the same length as that, and roughly the same thickness, would take a lot more of this, due to air spaces in it or whatever thing. But basically, once it's compressed, so it's the same width and length as that, you'd have a lot more. I mean, that's roughly the same thickness, but as you can see, it started off an inch long and now it's not even, well, it's about half an inch. So we say you can double or triple what you got depending on how tight you roll this. Now if you put this, after you've rolled it like this, if you put this into a straw and sealed each end, you've got a highly compressed tinder bundle. I mean, we'll just twist this in the hand. But you can see how big it was to start with and how fat it was. You can see that's gone an awful lot thinner. So we've got a large amount of tinder was compressed into a very small area. We put it somewhere where it can stay dry. So, okay, we've got this compressed. What's the big deal? Well, you can't always, if you want to play with primitive fire, or maybe you actually need primitive fire, you can't always find dry wood in that. But you can find dry in a bark. Now, looking at Boggy Creek's videos and others, I keep saying Boggy Creek because it's the one I've watched the most of at the moment, but if this can be done with yucca and plants like that when they're green, I don't see why you shouldn't be able to do it with things like inner cedar bark and that. And if you can do it with that, that means you can put this bark and stuff under your armpits to dry it out, and then use it when it's drier. Now, the inner part of the branch or whatever, and I'm not just saying branches, because in pre-jute tube, he does it between stones. So I mean, this isn't just rubbing two bits of wood together, you can be rubbing two bits of stones together. And you might be able to find some flattish bits of stone to rub together easier than you can find some dryish wood. Now if you've got some of these pre-made up with the way Boggy Creek makes them, with some ash in and that, but he does show them without ash. If you've made some of these up, then okay, you can just do it between your bits of wood and do that. If you just, but let's say you need it because you're in a bad situation. You want some dry tinder. Now, if you've got a lighter or something like that, obviously you're not going to go back to this. But what you've now got is something you can just untwist and produce a very, very large amount of tinder. What's dry, and due to the fact it's so compressed, it'd be quite hard for the middle parts of it to get wet, at least, because it's like books and stuff like that. The centre bits stay dryish due to the compression of the pages on them. So I think the reason to learn this isn't just because any new skill you learn can save your life. I always say it's knowledge you don't know what will kill you. For example, or kill someone else even. For example, if you don't know how to tie a knot, what doesn't slip, you see someone fall in a river, you throw them tie a quick hoop on the line, you throw it to them, there's a strong current, they put it around themselves. Wrong sort of knot, it constricts and kills them, because they're trying to fight the current, the cold, and having their chest compressed due to a lasso knot tied around their waist. So it's not the knowledge you knew what killed them, it's the knowledge you didn't know what killed them. So I think learning this technique, not only will you get the satisfaction of learning something new and giving yourself something to experiment with, like Boggy Creek Beast does and that, but you also, if you get the hang of it and start carrying some pre-made ones around, you've got very large tinder rolls. So I think the reason to learn this skill isn't just because it could save your life in a life or death situation, which to me means you haven't got a cell phone on you or you haven't got a signal, because most cell phones have got GPS so you can be found fairly quickly these days. But it means you can practice primitive skills. Whether you decide to do it with 2 bits of wood, 2 rocks, or whether you decide to just break it up apart and use solar ignition on it, or flint and steel, and use this as a part of your tinder ball or something. I think the good thing about learning this technique is it's giving you so many options, not just learning about rubbing 2 bits of wood together with something trapped between them, or 2 bits of stone, but the fact it's giving you more information on different types of tinders and how they act and react. It's giving you an education on physics. Energy cannot be destroyed, it can only be changed. By rubbing them together, the energy you're using from your arms and hands is being exchanged into heat, and the heat's igniting this, which is giving light and warmth. So I mean, it's a bit of physics as well. But I think that is why should I? For me, I should learn this because it's a skill I'll probably never ever use in a bad situation. But if I'm in a bad situation and I've got some of these pre-made up, I've now got a source for tinder what's very reliable and a large quantity. I mean, yeah, I might have to use 2 of them, but 2 of these, or 2 bits of jute twine the same thickness, you don't go with these. Okay, that's the end of my why should I. Hope you enjoyed it. And please, if you can think of other reasons why you should learn this technique, or other techniques why you should learn them, add it to the comments. Thank you.